Welcome back to Hannity. So after months of denying any interest in a third presidential bid, former Governor Mitt Romney reportedly told a group of longtime supporters that he is considering running again in 2016. Also breaking today, Congressman Paul Ryan said he will not be throwing his hat in the ring for 2016. However, my next guest is looking, well, awfully presidential these days with the release of a brand new book. It's just out today, American Dreams, Restoring Economic Opportunity for Everyone. Senator Marco Rubio, how are you, sir?
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back.
Good to see you.
Good to be here with you.
Where are you in the process? You're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, so, the two most important questions are what impact will it have on your family? I mean, it's first and foremost, and we've talked through that. I think the second one is the more important question at this stage, and that is, where is the best place for me to achieve this agenda of restoring the American dream that I write about in the book? Is it in the Senate, or is it at this stage in my life running for president? So that's the decision. Only I can make that one. Only I can answer that question.
They can't say your mom was a maid, your dad was a bartender.
Yeah.
They were able to flee Castro's Cuba. You didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth.
No, I mean, my parents actually, well, they came before Castro in 1956, right. But they...
To get away from...
Yeah, well, the direction it was headed. And then, of course, a lot of our family came after that, including my grandfather. But the point is, they came to the U.S. with really very little formal education, no access to any sort of connections or money, and they made it to the middle class. And what I want is to continue to be a country where that's possible. And increasingly for Americans, it's become harder and harder to do that. Part of it is because our taxes and our regulation and the national debt has made us globally uncompetitive. Part of it is we have the stale higher education cartel that makes it difficult for people to go to school affordably. And part of it is that the cost of living keeps going up, and the government makes it go up even higher with things like Obamacare and higher taxes and so forth. We have to address that.
You're very close to Jeb Bush. It appears he's at the point of no return now. I think he's in. Does that impact your decision at all?
No, it doesn't. And it's not just Jeb, anybody who runs. I mean, look, when you decide that the best place for you to serve your country is to run for president of the United States, I think that's a decision you make irrespective of who else might be in the race.
Yeah.
And I think
speaking of which, you actually addressed the issue of Hillary Clinton in the book, which I think was the only shot I really saw, which probably everyone's asked you about.
Sure.
What is your take on her and the potential of another Clinton presidency? You said it'd be about spending more money on a broken system. And
yeah, we need to move on. I mean, the truth is the 20th century is over. The 21st century is here. The future is now. And we need to begin to address 21st century problems with 21st century ideas. So not only are her principles of big government wrong, but her ideas are the ideas of an era that's come and gone. And I think you find some of that in our party as well.
Yeah.
We need 21st century ideas and solutions. It's time to move forward on some of these things.
I'd like that you say solutions. I've been kind of nudging, pushing, yelling a little bit, maybe even, because I want the Republicans to have an inspiring vision. You know, what is, if you run for president, you're not going to run for the Senate again. You're up in 2 years.
Right.
So you'd make a decision to run for president or Senate.
Yep. That's right.
Wow, that's a big commitment.
Well, and that's why we're going to think about very carefully where the best place to serve is.
What are the priorities? How do we get 50 million Americans out of poverty, off food stamps, 92 million Americans back to work?
Well, first of all, we always use the term middle class a lot. People talk about that. But basically what it means are hardworking people who can achieve things that make them happy, you know, safe and stable home for their family, a better future for their children. These generic terms that people use that have real meaning in everyday life. What makes us special is that millions of people who start from nothing, that's your story too,
my story,
have been able to achieve that.
My dad was really poor.
Well, but now that's eroding for people. And so what we need to be here, we need to be the people that restore that. And not just restore it, but expand it to reach more people than ever before.
Does it bother you like it bothers me that conservatives don't seem to care because they've been labeled by the left? I care about the people because I did all those jobs in restaurants and in construction.
But I care not only because I come from there, I care because I know America can't remain special if those people can't make it. If those people can't achieve the American dream, then we become like every other country in the world. Every country has rich people. What makes us different is that vibrant working class of Americans, and we have to make sure that they have the same chance to achieve.
Last question. Immigration kind of put you a little sideways with conservatives. What's your answer to that?
Well, bottom line is I saw a problem that needs to be fixed. It still needs to be fixed. And the only way we're going to be able to fix it is by first and foremost being able to enforce our immigration laws. People don't want to talk about anything else. That's the biggest lesson from that experience that I took away.
Secure the borders first?
Absolutely. They're not prepared to talk about anything else until that happens. They just don't trust the federal government to do that.
You know, we always get the tax increase, never get the spending cut. You'll get the amnesty or some type of path to citizenship, but you'll never get the
That's
border
what we've
secure.
heard over and over again, as you well know.
All right, Senator, good to see you. And by the way, I read, you can tell, look, see my notes?
Yeah, marked up pretty good.
I marked up his book pretty good, and there you go. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
And
Senator, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.